Keir Starmer. What do you make of him as a man and as a leader?
It could be a lizard. Women have to put up with pregnancy and periods, what do men have to put up with? I says, well, men went to battle at Somme. Traditionally, white, working class, young lads, they've gone and died for this country. And when I say I want my country back, people go, you're racist, you're bigoted. No, they're not. What I mean is, I want my schools to be like they was. You want to have a drag queen sat there reading your bloody stories.
Is Westminster even worse?
Quite angry with the madness of this place. Tell you what, come the next election, people in these communities will boot you all out.
I mean, the Labour MP, the new ones, I mean, some of them, literally unemployable. When I stood up in Parliament and said we'd done this project, we can make a meal for about 30 pence a day. I got absolutely roasted, and I still get it today. Well, I thought it was somebody's actor's account to start off with. Really? Yeah, this is what the class is economically inactive, this lot here. When Boris was in charge.
Received a fixed penalty notice from the Metropolitan Police. I once again offer a full apology.
It got to a stage where I wouldn't put the news on, because you just dreaded it. So, you know, what's happened now then? So this, obviously we were the third house. I'd been in that bedroom up there, and heard my dad's alarm go off from being a little kid. He'd come downstairs, he'd make a fire. That was the coal house, that's where the coal was. You used to keep your coal in there, so he'd go and make a fire. And then he'd make his sandwiches, walk out in. As he walked out, I could hear the door slam, and I used to knock on that window there and wave to him. But what that did, for me, and lots of other kids around here, listening to their dad go to pit, is it learnt you subconsciously that that's what men do. They get up at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, they go to work, they do an incredibly difficult job in difficult conditions to pay the rent, pay the mortgage, to put food on the table, to put clothes on your back. That's what they do. So when you get to 15, 16, 17, you know that's what you're going to do. But sadly now, in a lot of these places around here, kids aren't hearing an alarm clock go off. They're not listening to the dad go to work. So when they come to leave school, they're thinking, what do I do? We had a clear pathway. We saw a coal mine, that's where lads are going. My sister saw my mum come out here in the morning and go to the factory, that's where they went. So when we left school, I was at the pit with my dad, working with my dad, actually underground, and my sisters were working with my mum in the factory up the street. It might not seem like much of an aspiration to go and work down a coal mine or work in the factory. But it was. That's where I'm going to go. That's where I need to go if I want money.
Well, it was pride as well, like you
said
said
it's pride,
before.
yeah. I think it was like massive stigma if you didn't have a job. No, it's like a career. You know, how much can you squeeze out to stay here? It's a competition. So yeah, this is where we used to hang around here as kids. So when people say, oh, you don't live in the real world, I would say this is pretty close, isn't it?
And obviously this makes you pretty different from like a lot of the people that get into politics or are in politics, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. You know, I was a single parent for 17 years, on my own with 2 boys, didn't have no money. I had to get rid of my car because I couldn't afford to run it. And I never felt sorry for myself. I thought, well, this is my fault. This is not the state's fault. I'm not going to go on Facebook and complain they haven't got any money. I need to do something about it. And you do, don't you? But yeah, this is, I would say, some of the happiest memories of my life are right here as a kid, playing football on this street here. Yeah. Yeah, getting into trouble.
And then, like, obviously you said that, like, kids used to get up to a bit of, like, naughtiness, but,
Yeah.
like, there was a clear sense of, like, lines that you crossed and, like, stuff that you did.
I don't know about that.
Or not. What was it?
No.
Or, like, as you got older, what do you, like, do you think it gave you a good compass or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, we played a lot. I mean, I broke my arm down there as a kid when I was about 6. But there's an element of danger when you're playing as well. Because I think, you know, kids have got to be tested. You know, we're climbing trees and making dens and making fires and bird nesting and, you know, going in the local pond, which was the colliery pond, which was filthy. We used to go swimming in there, for goodness, and we shouldn't. And that's, you know, you're learning, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're learning skills, you're learning social skills, you're learning how to be good friends, you're learning how to socialise with people, you're learning about dangerous stuff, and it equips you. I mean, you don't, it's not like you're doing it on purpose, it's just, you know, we didn't have an Xbox.
Yeah.
or a computer. There's nothing on telly, so everybody used to play.
And then like round here, this was Labour heartland, right?
Yeah, massively.
How's that shifted? Like, how do people think differently here now about it?
Well, they do, because you have to realise that the coal mine here employed over 1,000 men. The two factories probably employed 1,500 women. Both places were closed shop union, so you had to be in a union to work there. You couldn't work unless you was in the union. The unions were affiliated to the Labour Party, so every single worker, miner, factory worker, would pay money every week to the union and then to the Labour Party, which meant he's got stake in the Labour Party. So which way are you going to vote? You're going to vote Labour. And they used to have 25,000 majorities. This area did. This is where Labour would stick cabinet ministers in this seat. People who'd never been here before would get this seat. If they pissed off 1,000 people in 5 years, that means they just got a 24,000 majority. Because how many people in reality go and see an MP? Not that many.
You being in Parliament for them now, like, do you feel like you're the voice of these people?
Yeah. Because when I talk about antisocial behaviour, like I did in the Westminster Hall debate,
Where we have these families that are creating mayhem and misery. They call them feral families in my neck of the woods. These are people that are just causing problems on every single council estate throughout Mansfield, throughout Ashfield.
I'm getting complaints from people on the street about antisocial behaviour. So it's personal. Come on, let's go to the market. You just call this Fat Row, well they still do, Fat Row. You can go and get your drugs. So it's gone from being a load of coal miners and factory workers to drug dealers and dolies.
That's depressing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It must break the hearts of some of the people that live there, right?
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, these are the far-right racists, people like my mum's age, who've seen, and my dad's age, who've seen massive changes. And now they've gone from being traditional Labour voters to voting Tory for the first time in 2019 to voting for me. And when this street during the election, nearly all these had vote reform boards up.
Really?
It was incredible. Driving down this, seeing it was like amazing.
You feel like people been stigmatised just for having a normal reaction to what's happened to a place like this?
Yeah, it's the political establishment just completely out of touch. And I still see it every single day in Parliament, not just with the politicians, but with some of the journalists as well.
Like what kind of stuff?
I was speaking to one journalist, and we were talking about the Lawrence Fox when he got sacked from GB over he made some misogynist comments, didn't he, about a lady, which were totally unacceptable. And I just said to her, I said to this journalist, I said, he shouldn't be bringing pub talk on a live TV show. Because why, men don't talk like that, do they? I said, what? Men talk like that? And I tell you who's worse is women, If you're doing this factory up here, where there are 1,000 women, I've seen some of their behaviour, especially at Christmas time on Friday break-up. So let's not pretend that human beings don't talk like that when they're in the close circle of friends or in a pub, because they do.
Or on WhatsApp.
Or on WhatsApp. There's a time and a place for that sort of language, and it's not on TV. If you're in a circle of friends where you're comfortable talking about, that's fine. I think you can do. But on TV, it's not acceptable.
Do you think that that's breaking down a bit with like the social media and stuff, that people are they're not going through the same channels as what they used to?
Every time I tweet something now, and sometimes I'm a little bit mischievous, I think, well, this is going to get a reaction, and they're looking for something in a tweet or an article or something on Facebook to pull you up on. To say, oh, look what Anderson said, when you've not said anything like it, It's like a few weeks back, some woman put on X, women have to put up with pregnancy and periods, what do men have to put up with? I says, well, men went to battle at Somme, and the point I was making is that men have died in their millions being slaughtered in wars, and it's always men, and it's always young working class men from villages like this that go and give their life up for country. The next minute people saying, oh, Leander says he was in the Battle of the Somme. So I'm thinking to myself, have I got to explain every tweet that I put out? Aren't you clever enough to understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That traditionally, it's traditionally white working class young lads, teenagers, that have gone and died for this country.
Yeah.
They've worked down the coal mines, they've worked in the fishing industry, they've worked in the foundries, they've worked in the steel mills. They've done all these horrible jobs.
Yeah.
But when times are good, as they allegedly are now, they're overlooked.
Just on the social media, like, And you had all that stuff going on with Musk.
Well, I thought it was somebody's hacked his account to start off with. Really? Yeah, just like, you know, we'd been bigging him up saying it was great to have Elon on board. Next minute he's putting these random tweets out. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether it's him who's tweeting or someone is doing it for him. I would imagine it's him. But I don't know. I mean, the good news is I think he went through a period last week where he attacked every political leader. Right. He weren't just singling anybody out. I mean, he's getting Starmer a lot of stick. Yeah. And rightly so. But yeah, I mean, it was entertaining.
Did you see what Nigel's reaction was when he said that thing about he's not the right man?
Yeah, well, I saw Nigel's tweet it.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite dignified how Nigel responded to it.
But then he had the thing about Rupert as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's all sorts going on. I think sometimes, and I've been guilty of it before. People need to have, just take a breath before they tweet something, or take a breathalyzer. I'm pretty sure we should have a breathalyzer stuck on our phones, and blow into it, and it says yes, you're okay to tweet. So you can get carried away on social media. It's, and some of my colleagues and on all parties, they look at the social media tweets and okay, how many clicks I've got, and I say, you know what? My mum and dad's not on Twitter. My sisters aren't. My mates aren't. These are people who vote. They're not on Twitter. Yeah. So I don't think it's going to win you an election, because it's not. I always say that politics it's like a soap opera. Yeah. In fact, it's better than a soap opera. I mean, when I was in Tory party, it was when Boris were in charge. It was like you used to wake up in the morning, and it got to a stage where I wouldn't put the news on because you just dreaded it.
What, you just didn't know what was?
You didn't know what was going to be on there, and you said, "Oh God, what's happened now?" And
fresh, innit?
Fresh. So where all these cars are parked down now, it used to be the marketplace. Then the Labour Council decided to take the old market, the old wooden canvas stores down and put steel stores on, proper rigid steel. That was a complete disaster. So then they spent another few £100,000 ripping all that up, turning it into a car park. But the good news is now they've just spent another few £100,000 building another marketplace. All these men that never had a job in business become local politicians, councillors, got a bit of kudos because they were a councillor, and you wouldn't give them a job sweeping this up. Yeah. Half of them, absolutely thick.
Is Westminster even worse?
It is, because you look at the Labour MP, the new ones. I mean, some of them literally unemployable. Hey, all right, where are you going? Bit of shopping.
A few bits today.
99p for a pint.
Yeah.
The more you drink, the more you save. That's my motto. If it's 99 pence a pint.
99 pence. Hey, another secret. See you.
See you. Well, I've just took you.
Yeah.
On that street, he were one lads I used to play football with.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hey, there's my mother here. Is my mum here?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Why don't you get to work
And
and contribute towards society?
Yeah.
Happy New Year, mate. Yeah.
They're all waiting in precinct. They've got trouble with summer rule with kids.
Oh, I better go in and see them,
windows
haven't
and banging.
I brought Social Security in now. These are from DWP. They want to know why you're not going to work. There's more illegal migrants coming over the channel today. You lot's got to go to work and pay for them. This is what we class as economically inactive, this lot here. What's happening at Summerhill? Have I got to go back up?
Yes.
What's up?
Smashing doors or smashing.
Who is it? Do we know who it is?
Kids.
We need a good hiding.
Coke for Christmas.
Yes, I did, yeah. It is, isn't it?
Yeah, who's paid for it?
You lot. Taxpayer. We got in expenses. All right, see you ladies. See you in a bit. Bye-bye. Oh. Hey, Richard, you all right? How's business? Is it? This is Richard. He's been here forever, trying to sell books, hasn't you? I have, yeah. Yeah, doing his bit. Probably one of the only places in Sutton you can buy a book these days, this isn't it?
Good. Mansfield Town fan as well, then?
Yeah, he's a Mansfield nut. Yeah. Anyway, have a good day, mate. Yeah, see you, Richard. Yeah, see you, Doc. When I took Nigel in there where we've just been, it was mobbed.
Yeah.
Absolutely mobbed.
He's talking about being the next Prime Minister. Do you think...
Well, if he said to me when I first joined Reform that we could win the election, in 2029, I'd have said you're barking mad. I think we can win it now.
Yeah.
I really do.
Everyone seems to appreciate seeing you about as well.
Yeah, they do. That's the first time they've had that with an MP. And even if you can't help them, as long as you listen to them and try your best,
Yeah.
try and help them. I just want people to be safe on the streets, people to have a job, be safe. I want housing to be available for young people. I bought my house when I was 22, 23. You've got no chance of doing that now.
Yeah.
It's not right. I mean, the kids would be sat at home now, 18, 19, with living with their parents and thinking, what's in it for me? Why should I bother? At least we've got something to aim for.
What do the people here, like, what do they want? How do they want things to change?
Generally, all people want is to have kids to have a good school to go to. They want a good local hospital. They want to feel safe walking the streets, and they want to be able to afford to have probably an holiday once a year and not worry about paying the gas bill, electric bill. Even though they didn't have much money back in the day, I don't think they ever worried about paying the gas or electric bill. Not like now. You know, we've got bloody old biddies can't put the heating on.
What I want to ask you about is the Labour Party and Keir Starmer. What do you make of him as a man and as a leader?
On a personal level, whenever I've been in his company or passing, he's always been quite nice to me. But I'm not sure what's behind his eyes.
Yeah.
They always say eyes are a window to your soul, don't they? But I can't see through his eyes.
Do you think you spent too long as a lawyer, too much time wrapped up in that world?
I don't know. It could be a lizard.
Because he's from a working class background as well, isn't he?
He keeps telling his dad was a tool maker. Yeah. Actually, see this? That's 10 Downing Street.
Oh,
That's
really?
on Downing Street, yeah. This is Downing Street. There you go, 10 Downing Street.
10 Downing Street. Do you think Labour's just lost who it was, like, compared to...
Well, when you look, I mean, Nigel said it a few times. You look at their front bench, and how much business experience have they got? None. I think the business secretary's never even had a job. They're all career politicians. I mean, Yvette Cooper's been there 20 years. She's a Home Secretary. You think within 20 years she'd have some idea how to stop the small boats, wouldn't you? Yeah. 20 years and doesn't know how to do it. And look here, look. We've got a local council. This is called Mucky Alley, by the way. We've got a local council run by an independent group, which is a political party. Their offices are literally 50 yards away. Look at this filth here, look. Fly tipping. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And I've been down here many, many times with volunteers to clean this up, and it just keeps happening and happening. And it pisses me off.
I mean, this could be this would be the biggest change in British politics since the Liberals fell apart, right? If reform.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
It is definitely. We got 4.1 million votes. The Lib Dems only got 3.5 million, and they've got 72 seats, and we've got 5. A lot of people at the last election wanted to vote for us, but were put off by if you vote Reform, you get Labour. Well, you're always going to get Labour anyway. Yeah. So they might as well have voted, but we'll get them next time. Because the Tory party, they're not doing anything.
Do you think it's because
It reminded me of Corbyn, actually, when he was leader of the opposition, when I was sat there. He'd get up and rant for a minute, but nobody cheered him. They just sat silent. Yeah. Dead duck.
What do you see yourself doing if there's a reform government?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Well, I always said when I got elected the first time, I'd do 2 terms. But now, I'm thinking I might stand again. I probably will, because I feel like I'm part of something. Yeah. In the last Parliament, I didn't feel part of anything. I just felt like voting fodder. Yeah. Like you turn up, you go through the voting lobby, do as you're told. And I don't want to be that person. I want my country to be a good country. I want to do things and sort stuff out. And leave our country in a better state than when I arrived here. And at the moment, we're failing on that.
And what do you think that would, for your own personal story, stepping into being in government, what would that mean from you know, from starting in the pit.
Well, I always say I want my country back, and when I say I want my country back, people go, "You're racist, you're bigoted." No, they're not. What I mean is, I want my schools to be like they was. You know, where you go to school and learn. You won't have a drag queen sat there reading your bloody stories. You know, kids won't be told that there could be 25 different genders. I want them to learn to read and write, do the maths, and be equipped, and have opportunities when they leave school. I want to be able to ring a doctor up in the morning and get an appointment the same day. I want my constituents to be able to go to a dentist the same day and have a tooth pulled out or have that treatment. I want bobbies to walk these streets. I want rapists and criminals locked up. I want murderers locked up for life. It's not much, is it, really?
Yeah.
We can do that. As a country, we can do that. I want our borders to be controlled. I don't want illegal migrants being put up in 4-star hotels.
Are people angry? Like, what do you get the sense of the mood in the country is? Because obviously there's been a lot of anger. Like, do you think people resigned, or do you think something's about to change?
Well, it feels like it when you think that. I think there's a stat out that 75% of our membership have never been in a political party before.
Yeah.
We've got nearly 200,000 members, and something's happening. Not many people wake up one morning and think, I want to join a political party, do they?
No.
But they're looking at us and thinking, yeah, I want to be part of that. Or I want to make a difference. Oh, God, it's cold, isn't it? Bitter. Yeah, look, all right. You know, I'm the first MP in Ashfield that's from here. Was born here. Lives here. Every other MP they've ever had went from Ashfield.
Do you think we need to get back to a bit more of that, where the people are
Well, it's
represented
never been like that.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, it's never been like that.
It's never been like that. I mean, are you telling me in these constituencies there's not one person that's good enough to represent them? Because there is. Somebody that went to these schools, that were born in that hospital, that's walked these streets, that's drunk in these pubs.
Is that what you want to do then with reform? You want to get more of that?
Yeah, I do. I think, you know, when I speak in Parliament about my local schools and hospital and crime, it's personal. For a lot of people, it's just a job. I mean, I know some MPs that live, well, there's not that they live away from the constituency, that had never been there.
Now, instead of taking back lessons, if you like, and being able to make good food, nutritious food for the whole family.
Yeah, I got in trouble when I said all this, you know this, don't you?
No.
Yeah. So I did a project about 4 years ago, because I was working with the local food bank and delivering meals around some to vulnerable families. We did a ready, steady cook. The day before, I went to Aldi, 50 quid, I took a load of school children with me, and with a shopping list from the chef. And we made 172 meals, 50 quid. But it worked out at 30, I think it was 31 pence a portion. And he says, this is what we need to do, help people. So we got the food bank to agree to, when people were coming in, instead of just giving them a food parcel, they had to enrol on a cooking course and a budgeting course. When I stood up in Parliament, I said we'd done this project and the meals were 30 pence each. I got absolutely roasted, and I still get it today. Lee Anderson says poor people can't cook. I'm sorry, a lot of poor people can't cook, but a lot of poor people can cook, and they can cook very well because they've had to. This pit alone, so there's this pit here, Sutton Colliery, which is my first pit. All it is nice factory unit, so this is where I'd come in the morning, and the coal mine was here. And we'd go underground, and helmet on, knee pads, big battery for your lamp, a rescuer, which was in case there was a fire, you had like it's called a self-rescue actually, it filters out all the carbon monoxide. And then obviously your tools on your belt.
And then you're down in the darkness?
Yeah, you're down in the darkness for however long your shift is, and then you come out, you come up, because you're black with dust, everywhere's black, every hole, every orifice.
Because when the strike happened, there was the split, right?
So here it was, most men went to work here. My dad was on strike at this pit, actually. The picket lines used to be just down the road a little bit. There's 30 men on strike at this pit, my dad was one of them.
What did that feel like then, being...
It was horrible. It was horrible. I mean, my dad went nearly a year with no money. So, it wasn't very nice. Then he had to go back to work in the end and work with men that didn't want him there.
Because he'd been one of the ones that...
Yeah,
had-
that's right, yeah. It was horrible for my dad. And then I started a year after.
What did you think about it when the strike was at its...
Yeah, I just felt that, well, like you know, like I said, we've been to see Scargill and Skinner and Tony Benn many times, and you believe what they were saying, that Maggie was evil, the Tories were evil, and you've got to fight back and bring a government down, and pretty much like they did in '74, and save your jobs. I think the miners were being used as useful idiots. For Scargill, who we idolised, it was just a battle between him and Maggie. She weren't going to put up with that, and he wanted to beat her. And he used decent men like my dad to get his own way. Yeah. And it weren't right.
Thank you, Lee. Really appreciate you taking us round and showing us about where you come from and where you represent. It's been a pleasure.
No, it's nice that you could take time out of your day and come up to Ashfield and meet some real people in the real world, and then you can get back to your Westminster bubble and...
I'm not in the Westminster bubble, mate.
Live a life of denial.
Cheers.